more than 2,000 bob.
In Nairobi ama?
No, I bought them here in Rwanda. So
Online
even
ama?
Nairobi, no, nilinunua kwa duka, ilikuwa kwa duka.
Utanitumia the brand name baadaye.
Sawa.
I bought some from Jumia and they turned out to be quite fake.
Okay. This is
Mm.
Logitech, so it's a
Oh,
good
Logitech.
brand.
Okay, so I'll check.
Yeah, it's
So
a good brand.
we are live.
We are live.
Once again, it's another free flow Saturday. I don't know it's episode number what, but well, it is what it is. We are here and we
We are
need to be
here,
there.
man. It's if
Mm.
you are counting,
Mm.
the number is 23.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Eh?
We should hold
Short.
some when you go to episode number 100, you should have a special one, I think. You come up with
Yeah.
something to commemorate 100th episode.
Maybe one time we should do a live one in the same location.
Yeah, yeah.
I've
Think
been
of think of a
once I'm
place,
in
a very
Kenya, like
nice.
on a Saturday. Look at, yeah, very good place set up.
There's a
Quiet.
hotel near my place called 67 Athi. Maybe
Uh-huh.
we could go try check it out and see. They have a balcony, I think.
Mm-hmm.
They have a balcony. We'll just check it on. Nice. Will be episode number 100. Yeah.
Yes, one of
Mm.
those. I think when we hit a good milestone,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I'm in
yeah.
Kenya, we should do it.
We'll be celebrating consistency, something that's very lacking in this part of the world, I think.
Man, it's everything. It's everything. Actually, I've just come out. There's a space that George
Mm.
started in the morning, and that thing is still going on
Since morning,
since morning.
those guys are rich.
These guys, I don't know, man. Not even just rich. How I don't know if these guys have slept. He
You
started
must be
that
very
thing at.
because listen, if
uh,
you are on a space since what there's someone taking care of the house for you, there's somebody
100%.
handling your chores for you.
Yeah,
Uh, Probably this being a Saturday, uh, someone is you have some either you have a very powerful passive income stream or
yeah.
you have a team that is ensuring the money is flowing in. Some of these places you have to be very unasema cut your coat as per your clothes. Don't go somewhere your affairs mambo inachemka kwa ground and you are trying to do you are jabbing around with the people who have streams of income flowing in. So at times
No, I agree.
you have to be
I
very,
agree. I
very
even
careful.
I even wonder to some
Mm.
degree how people, because I see some people spacing almost an entire day during
Yeah,
the week.
on a
Yeah.
weekday. So you have to be very, very careful where you step in. Like me, most of the spaces right now, I just pop in on the listener panel because what I'm doing right now really requires my attention
Mm,
and it's my means of earning a living. So I can't really play around with that. So you cannot be in a space where somebody has a way of making money. You can just fool around and the dollars are streaming in. You cannot
exactly.
place yourself
In
in
the
such a
same
person.
category as that person.
Yeah,
And then even
engaging in.
the good thing,
Mm,
like for the Kibe space, one of the
mm,
reason why I invested in like the Patreon
mm,
was then I can listen to it even when I miss it. Because most
mm,
of the time during the week, now I don't get the time to listen to it.
mm.
I'll probably, maybe when it has hit like lunchtime our time, there's certain time I see these guys are still going on and it's still active. Then on my lunch break, I can be able to pop in. But either way, even if I miss the live show,
Mm,
I have the opportunity to listen to it again and even re-listen to it because sometimes there are some gems in there that you
mm.
need to rewind for them to internalize them effectively. But these things are addictive. These things are in many ways distract us from productive work. So if you're
Yeah.
not careful and you get yourself caught up in that, of course, the person on the other side, him, that's his business. So he needs to be there. And the more you listen, the more it's enriching in him. So
Yeah,
if you don't
and
know.
some people have a very powerful passive income streams. Some
Mm,
people have teams of people grinding out for them. So
exactly.
you cannot going to you're not going to place yourself there. Then when it's time for you to pay bills, you're all alone. So
Mm,
as much as the spaces are very nice,
mm,
you have to, as I say, cut your coat according to your clothes. Otherwise, uh, when it's time for the landlord and tokens, normally a one-on-one affair. There are no spaces for that.
mm.
The-
You're
the-
all
the-
by
the-
yourself. Yeah.
yes, the token is beeping in your house, not big. The token is beeping in my house, not your house. So there's
That's
no
true.
space for guys whose tokens are at zero. So,
Mm,
my friend, even that Wi-Fi you are using has to be paid for. So you really have to look at your situation. You have to say, listen, I can dedicate only half an hour today, and you have to maybe be disciplined and stay in the listener part, because if you grab the mic, obviously you'll be drawn into some weird
mm.
crap, and, and you start some bit of verbal boxing with someone who's enjoying the show, and you have issues pending. So it's all about discipline and such kind of stuff.
Correct, correct. I mean, these devices, in many ways, I
Mm.
think they get us to consume, and they are created in such a way that you can't get out of them.
Yeah,
They know how
because
they have designed those things.
imagine,
They suck you in, and
yeah,
it's so hard to
imagine
come out.
trying to have a space and you are at a construction site.
Mm.
You'll mess up.
That's not possible.
Uh, or
Yeah.
maybe you are driving a tanker containing 98% conch sulfuric acid,
Mhm.
and you start listening to a space, and some woman comes and starts, triggering you, and you're forgetting you have sulfuric acid you are carrying.
Mm.
So some issues you have to really look at yourself. You have to say, hey, listen, this environment is not so good for me, because some of those spaces are quite combative. It's like a war zone.
Oh yes.
Mm.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
I just
So yeah.
stumbled upon something about some guy who decided to have a girlfriend and what, but I'll follow it on up. I think somebody slipped up. He was against the Gulf. Then we saw him that, I don't know. Someone laid a trap on him, and man, it's a crazy world we
Where
live
was
in.
that?
On the spaces, but Kib had put a snippet.
Okay.
Uh, the guy decided to have a guy. I don't know what happened to him, but on the other side, I actually celebrated a major achievement. I
Please
turned down
show
a
me.
sleepover.
At some girl's place.
No, somebody offered to come to. I said no. Offered to
Oh,
come. I
coming
actually
to you.
I looked at my mirror and said, "Is this you?" I've just passed my first practical exam. Not the theoretical exam is when you're on the spaces and you're
Yes.
going hard and say, oh, feminine energy. Oh, this thing is bad. But the day you get high, can I come over? Your answer that is the practical exam.
Damn.
Hmm.
Eh?
Hi,
You
will
got
you be
that
around
temptation.
weekend? I just said no, not possible. Why?
Mm.
I no, no, not possible. I
Mm.
hung up and I looked at myself in the mirror and they said, hey, umejaribu. Umetoka mbali.
This
From
is a new
hustling,
brand in Ngudi
from
Chuma.
hustling for sleepovers, now you are blocking them. Hey, man, man,
You're not
man.
even asking for them, but they are bringing themselves to you.
Yeah, it was somebody
That
else.
shows
Oh,
that
I
shows your
said, no.
maturity. And you know these women now they can see a real man
Hmm.
growing in you, and now they want
Yeah, yeah.
to. And I guess that's the thing because when we hear that term, you are the price. You truly are the price.
Hmm.
But
It was crazy.
we
Because
flipped
and
the
to
the.
some extent, I don't know, maybe I'm the one who triggered it because
Mm,
I still have a problem. Is it a problem? I'm quite a flat.
mm-hmm,
I'm very much of a flat. I don't know if it's my weakness or it is my work in progress.
hmm.
But when it's okay, can I come over the weekend? That's why the red flags popped up. Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm,
So,
mm-mm.
and I mean, it's not bad to be flirty when you're like, let's say you're in a restaurant, you see a
Yes.
beautiful girl, the waiter,
The
nini.
issue for me,
Mm,
the issue is I actually said no. And I looked myself in the mirror. Is this you?
Mhm.
Is
Before
this
you, it
really
would have
you? He
been
said,
would have been a
no.
yes.
Yeah. Instead of celebrating that someone is coming over, I'm celebrating the fact that she's not coming over.
Yeah,
I'm like, man,
that's
man,
maturity. That's maturity,
maturity.
bro.
And there are so
That's
many
maturity.
situations where a sleepover landed me in trouble. Once someone came over and then she
Mhm.
fell ill. Then I had to take her to hospital, pay
Mm.
some money for tests and medication. And I was like, this money
That
would
whole
have been
burden
left.
was on you.
I would have this money would have been in my M-Pesa,
Mm.
secure. Another time I entertained someone here.
Mhm.
Then Monday morning my gas is finished. I'm like, why didn't I pay? Why didn't I pay for this gas? I was like, I really felt stupid. So when I
Mm.
did some bit of self whipping,
Mm.
I came to realize some these sleepovers we are actually turning our houses into free weekend resorts for the lady.
Mm.
She gets sex. I don't know if it's good sex or bad, but she gets pleasured. She gets free food, free internet, free Netflix, free entertainment. Where do you get that?
As a man, where can you get that, bro?
Where do you
Nowhere.
get that? Huh?
And this
Nowhere.
lady can just decide, oh, I'm coming to your house.
And you are
And you, and,
celebrating. You are so
and
happy
you
that
treat
somebody is
her on
coming
the
over.
best.
Huh.
You go get drinks.
You buy
If it is a
drinks. You
nice
buy.
checkout, or you buy chicken and cook, or all this stuff
You want to show your
to
culinary
impress her.
skills. The
Yeah.
house is clean. Why don't you clean that house for yourself?
Yes.
Like me, I normally do my house clean. I want my house to look clean.
Mm.
So the whole week your house looks shambolic. Then on that Friday she's coming, you leave your
Ish.
business or you leave your workplace a bit earlier. You spruce it up, clean,
Mm.
start
Mm.
cooking some chicken, some with some fancy Italian recipe and whatnot. You ensure that the Wi-Fi is working, kila kitu sawa. You've turned your house into a free resort and ask yourself, who will treat you like that?
No one, man. You're on your
One
own.
day, is there anyone who would give you such kind of treatment free of
Mm.
charge? Nothing.
It'll be on
So,
your time.
yeah, so we are actually wasting ourselves. And so it was just a small snippet on Twitter. It says so and so has gotten himself a girlfriend. Like, man, those are expenses now. You'd better
But,
then pay for a whore on a weekly basis. You can put a
mm.
budget, weekly whoring budget, weekly sex budget. So you pay, you bang, you go. So there's no saloon, there's no Naivasha, there's no new clothes, there's no cosmetics, there's no new
Mm.
shoes, there's no Valentine's Day, birthday, whatever, nothing. Kuna. You are paying because if it is a girlfriend, you are paying what you call you are paying sex on a form of hire purchase,
Mm.
and hire purchase seems to be quite expensive. It's like you are paying mortgage sex. You are paying for a very very long time.
I was actually looking at two things. When was it? It was also yesterday. Man, to be a master as a man is if you can control your dick and
Yes,
your stomach. Can you imagine how far you would go? Control
like
those two things.
I
You'll be a
put a
master.
tweet some time back. I think this 2 days ago.
Hmm.
I put a tweet
Let
for
me
those
let
on
me
the
see if I'll get
financial
it.
climbing lane.
Hmm.
If you remove clubbing and sleepovers, how much are you saving at the end of somebody put there? He did it once and he had 20,000 shillings that was never there. So I told if you what if you that is one do it for 1 year and another year
That's each month,
and
bro.
another year. So per
Let me
year 240,000.
let me share it because I think it's a profound one.
Uh, in 5 years, we have 1.2 million shillings. I would have gotten that 1.2 million. And the guys who are having girlfriends and whatnot, you compare them with yourself, there's nothing there you are missing.
Bros, for those on the financial climbing lane, the month you didn't have sleepovers and didn't club, how much was left in the pocket at the end, at end month? This is after you've settled all your expenses, you've fueled your car, you're able to, if you take lunch during the week while at work, you've done your lunch, you've bought your groceries, you've done everything. 20, this is free cash,
Yes.
20K.
Yeah.
Just put that in a money market fund and look at it after a year, bro. That thing
Can
will
you imagine?
grow. That thing will grow. 20 G's is not small amount, bro.
Per month.
In, in saving it
Now imagine you doing it every year, every month. That
every
is
month, every year.
240,000 shillings. Then for 5 years, make it 10 years. You have 2.4 million shillings. And then you look at the guys who were having
Actually, what
girlfriends and what.
like what you can be doing is every month when you get the 240,
Mm. Every
you can
year.
buy every year rather the
Mm.
240,000.
Mm.
You can now take cash out, and it will
Mm.
have also grown because
Mm.
if you use something like a money market fund, on
Mm.
average it's growing between 9 to 10%. A good one.
Mm.
I use CIC. That's why it's better to save your money there
Mm.
as opposed to putting it in a bank account. One, the ease of access of it is not easy. You have to request. You can withdraw, but you withdraw within 2 to 4 days. That's when they can process their monies. So it's not like you can go into your account and just withdraw. So that friction in terms of access, just creates it will end up, enforcing that discipline of avoiding it, and maybe whatever
I
money.
would rather borrow somewhere than
Not
touch
even
it.
that, because most of the time those emergencies of those purchases you want to do are frivolous. They can hold on. They can wait until your next pay, for example.
Mm.
um, you, as you say, you could also borrow.
I'm ready. Like today,
uh,
I had to take a soft loan from some app somewhere
mhm,
because I have some money I keep, and
mhm.
the money I take is so small. I'll pay it next week. I'm also trying to. There's this. I'm told that if you don't borrow and return, your limit becomes stagnant, right?
Yeah. So it's the principle of, even sometimes it's good to borrow from these apps, not
So
so many,
I
but
did
because what
some
what
borrowing
you do
today.
is what you
I
do
did.
is your credit score goes higher
Hmm.
as you borrow, but make sure you refund on time.
In fact,
Then
I'll be returning it even before, way before the maturity
that's
time,
good. That's
just
good.
to spur it up. So these are the things. See, these discussions we are having, we cannot have this in the presence of feminine energy.
No, we cannot.
Because
We
if it
cannot.
is this, we'll be talking about the best places, we'll be talking about the best restaurants, best resorts to go to. You know, you'll be probably talking of, you want to buy, I want to buy a very nice pair of shoes. There's nothing wrong with buying a nice pair of shoes, but when you have a decent pair of shoes available, but that decision has been triggered by Chantel telling you that she likes men who wears this kind of shoes, and instinctively, without even you knowing, you find yourself buying that particular pair. There's nothing wrong with buying shoes for because the shoes are a very good, they're a major pointer to your appearance. But if you are making a what you call a dick driven or a feminine driven decision, that's where the money disappears.
Mm,
Where the money goes. You do an audit, say, did I really need this stuff? You find yourself investing in a pair of shoes costing, like, I call them, they're called those black polish shoes. My pair goes for around 2,500 and I rarely wear it, so it's
mm,
okay. The other one I bought for, I think, 2,200, then some open shoes. That for me is enough. But you find someone with 8 pairs of shoes, each costing 4,000 shillings. And you're talking about, okay, we may be having money, but as I said, those of us on the financial climbing lane, You are trying to build this kingdom. This kingdom is not going to stand, is not going to be built when you are so overexpanding on your appearance.
Mm,
Yeah, you're not proving to anyone. You have an interview, you have a meeting. Like when I have a meeting with someone, I know how to dress so that I look okay. I'm not impressing anyone, so I should not have on my shoe rack a total of 50,000 shillings, and we are trying to build a kingdom. Aye, hapana. Doesn't make any sense.
They are called
But yeah,
priorities. Yeah,
yeah.
where do you place that value in?
These kingdoms,
And
especially a kingdom that you want, in the event that you have children, the children come into this world feeling like royalty.
mm,
Either that or you give birth to peasants. And you normally have these rags to riches story. Oh, he grew up in it's okay, it happens, but out of 100, how many are there? How many are there?
very few, very
So at
few.
the end of the day, you have to take the bitter pill. If you are because uh, you don't come from I don't come from money, but it will be very bad if my children also don't come from money.
Mm,
It will be very unfortunate. You are putting
that's
them
true.
in a very difficult position. I better
Yeah.
have them coming from money, but not spoil them. But from the early age, they know how to make money.
You've
Yeah.
established a very strong foundation.
They
That
know how to
reminds
make.
me, I did an interview once
Mm,
of this guy. If you get time, go watch this video
mm.
of. I don't know if you've seen. There's this company building. It's in real estate
Yeah.
called Savo. I don't know if you have seen some of their structures.
Mm.
So this is. Let me share it. And what blew me away about this guy was this was the year 2020. It was during the COVID period. I used to
Mm.
have a book club called the AM Book Club, and every month I would invite a guest, and I listened to him. I think I listened to him on another podcast, and for some reason I was able to get someone who was able to connect me to him. So Savo is a real estate company. I think they have now in the order of about well over 2,000 units they have built. They have built several structures all across Nairobi. They started off first with doing hostels. It's a man and a wife affair. This is the guy behind it. It's called Msharo.
Okay.
Uh, and
Charo.
yes, and he's an architect, and he started um, this real estate company. So at first they had built some hostels for student accommodation. I think it must have been in Athi River. That's when he developed this new model where the first apartment block they did, they called upon friends and family members to participate in the investment. So they drew up the plans. They had already, I think, gotten the land. They had purchased the land and secured it, but they
Mm.
needed funds to put up the structure. And they started off with friends and family. Now, when that first structure was successful, the guy went big scale because I've always thought of myself, and this guy helped me realize, man, I've been thinking small because I've been thinking, yes, maybe I should do if I go into real estate is to purchase a couple of units, which maybe can guarantee some good passive income. Um, that I can utilize even during my old age or something of that kind, or something that I can be able to bequeath my children if I ever have some. So, but when he told me at the time of our interview that we are looking at 2,000 units, I was like, man, my mind never thought that far because we've limited our minds. And all this guy did is he now built a model where he was able to invite the public to participate in these investments. So he would secure a piece of land, draw up the plans, and then put them out in public. He has several billboards that are all around. And then his model is you actually fund them almost interest free. So if that unit is about 2 million, you put your down payment, and then for a period of about 5 years, you'll be paying for it on a small scale basis. I'll send you the link. Actually, let me see if I can get their website also. Um, and so in 5 years, that will be your unit. You can decide to live there or you can decide to rent it out. Actually, the way they advertise their units, they don't sell them in the way of come purchase a house. No, the way they do it is um, they have this term called the fire um, movement. Have you heard of fire?
No, no, not yet, not yet.
So fire stands for, it's an acronym which stands for financial independence, retire early. So they are not directly selling you the unit. They are what they are directly selling to you is a way that you gain financial independence and you'll be able to retire early through the investment of these units. Let me get you the website. So this guy opened my mind to, man, think big. And he had a proven model. I think now they have done, let me see actually from the website. I don't know how many units they have done so far. You can see the website.
Okay.
So they
Oh,
have this.
Savo, I know it.
Yes.
Where is it located?
The offices are in Kiambu Road.
I mean, the building itself.
They are all over the place. So these are
Yeah, they
all the,
look impressive. I know it.
and you can see the way they designed them. So all these are under
Man,
construction. So there's this one in Feather. So he's calling it Feather Savo Step Up, and you can see how he has designed
it's
it
like a
as
step.
steps. It's under construction. Savo
Man,
suburbs. So like the one I am looking at is this one Sunset. I know which one did we get?
and the
Uh,
thing is, one of
there's
one
plenty
of
of
the things
them.
I like about this type of setup
Yeah,
is it has more security as opposed to you having your own compound and whatnot.
yeah.
I like this. So, oh man, so you actually met this guy.
I met this guy. I interviewed
This
him.
thing is
Go
impressive.
listen to his interview, and he's a brilliant fellow, bro. So he designs them. Once he has secured the land, boom, many people start
Man.
investing off plan. So he
So
gets the
that
money
so that
to,
means if you have the cash, you can just buy it right away, right?
you can buy it right off. And then
Man.
the other very important principle of how he has done this, most of these are one bedroom or studio apartments.
Mm.
You will construct them in places like around universities
Yeah.
or neighborhoods that are, well populated, because the idea is they need to begin to cash flow immediately. These are rents of between 15 to 25,000 shillings. I mean, that's, you can't miss Kenyans that can have that amount of money. When you talk of the Kilimanis and Kileleshwas, where a house is about $1,000 and above, man, you can be in an empty house looking for a customer for ages. And while
Yes.
at
Yes.
it, you're still maintaining that house. And in many cases, you might have already invested with it on mortgage. So you're actually paying for it when it doesn't have a tenant. But these houses of around 15, 20,000, a tenant leaves today, tomorrow it will be filled up. And then also the other model some of the owners have done is they have turned some of them to be short-let units, like the use of Airbnb and others.
Airbnb. Mm.
Yes. So these are units like, so they're in places like Vindigua, they're in places like Embakasi, they're in places like Wanye Road off Dagoretti corner in that off Ngong Road. They're in places, they're all over. But you know, he has not built in places like Westlands, Kilimani, not in the up market. areas. No, no,
Those
no, no.
one, the figures are really muddied up.
Those
For
ones, you know,
those ones, you have a
it's
problem.
not where the regular Kenyans live.
Oh.
So it's a premium market, but very
Mm.
small. I mean,
So
there are
here,
people, of course, that are
what
in
is
that play,
offering
but for him,
is,
that's not his play.
so what is offering
Mhm.
now, he has solved the problem of you, like you want to build your own apartments and putting up a lot of stuff. You can actually acquire like 8 to 9 units,
Exactly. So
and you
this
say,
is like,
now this is my
so look
my
at
stuff
this
now.
studio, one bedroom, superior studio apartments going for between 2.1 to 3.8. Then he'll give you the rundown. I think if you
So
come
he
here,
allows you to do a sublet, correct?
oh yes, and they can even manage it for you. They can
So what
manage it
you
for you.
that's what I'm saying. The headache of managing your own apartments and all that stuff, it has been completely been wiped out, correct?
Yes, you see, like this one, which is 2.1, expected rent is 15K. This one of 2.6, about 19.5. This one of one bedroom,
Now this
23K.
this is what I call,
This is amount that many Kenyans can afford. I think somebody even did an estimate that the rents that the majority of Kenyans can get is between 15,000 to 50,000. Anything
well,
above that, now you're talking about the rich, upper middle
this is
class and
something
above.
you get into when you what you call fire and forget. You have 10 units, each bringing you 15,000. They are going into some fund of yours which you'll touch after 30 years or something like that.
Exactly.
Can you imagine?
100%. Put it
Can you
in that
imagine?
money market fund. Maybe every
Mm,
so often you unload some of that money, put it in
mm,
some investment. An
mm.
investment could be probably buying another unit or taking that lump sum. Because the whole idea of savings is not just savings for the sake of savings. Is just keep it, build up the build up the amount of money so that you can either dump it into something like a share stock exchange, maybe put it in a Safaricom shares, maybe put it into some real estate, maybe put it in another form of investment, put it in a business and that kind of a thing. So once you've built up like this one, if you're earning 23 G's every month, you're just throwing that money into that account. You're just telling that your tenant, or just put that money. And then this guy is so smart, eh? You know these houses, so you start paying them while it's still off plan. When they are fully constructed, because part of the way they even structure the whole thing is you're already paying for becoming a member of the management company that will help in running those apartments, like maintaining the common amenities and things like this. He is the one who runs that management company. So again, you're paying him something from there.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
also own, over and above him being the architect and the owner of the land, um, he is also he owns the development company that does the actual construction, and he tells you all that in this video. uh, so and then what he does is so the construction is all him. So that entire value chain, from the point it is drawn, from the drawings, conceptualizing the designs, to construction, to management of the amenities, to even management of the unit, where you tell them, okay, advertise my unit, get me a tenant. You'll be the one even managing payment of rent, so they'll be the one collecting the rent for you. So you just give them their little cut, they deposit the rest for you. He's been able to
Marvelous.
he's been able to maintain that whole value chain. Man, that's brilliant, bro. So
Wonderful.
financial independence, and for men, I guess it's so critical, man. We need to own this thing like shit, bro.
Man, at least there are people doing something fantastic. This Oh wow! I've seen it many times. They have the adverts on Facebook, on Twitter. So fantastic.
Yeah, and then you could also even decide to partner with someone to do this.
Yeah.
So, like one of the approaches personally I've done is we have a friend and we put money together and we're able to start investing in these units.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ah, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
So it's possible.
Anyway, you remember the video? There's a YouTube link I sent you
Mhm.
about some trains which run on their own. You checked it.
You know, I did not, but let me pull it up right now.
Mm, I looked at that thing and I said, you've just you just fired hundreds of people by that, and you made it very clear. If your task is repetitive, you risk being taken out by automation. And I
Mhm.
said, this is it. This is it. I think I sent it to you on.
Is it a long one? We can listen to it.
You can put it briefly.
Okay,
He does some preparations. It's about.
it's a
Just put
seven
it on.
minutes.
Okay. It's very quick. It's very quick, but
Yeah, let me
it's
see if we'll
short.
get
But it's not.
if
It's
we'll
not.
get the gist. If we can get the
Even again,
gist
let me see how long.
of the 7 minutes, but if we can get the gist of the
Yeah, yeah, you can
thing,
get a gist of it.
let me let me put it on.
Here at Rio Tinto, we run autonomous trains. That means they're unmanned. They only run on the main line. Around the yards, they're driven by drivers, as they always have been. And when they get to the point where they're ready to depart, we set them up for what's called auto haul. That's our trademark name for it. So I've just pulled an empty train out of the dumper, and I've tested the brakes, etc. And I've gone through the process of setting up for auto haul. It's quite a lengthy process, involves a lot of pushing of buttons, waiting for something to happen, building the air up, yada, yada, yada. And we're at the part now where we're actually going to send it on its way. So I've got a couple more things to do here, and then we'll go around to the side of the desktop here, throw a switch, then we'll lock the cab up, get off, throw another switch that's on the outside, call up the controller and tell them it's ready to go, and then we'll watch it disappear into the sunset.
Is it just me or that cabin looks so old? Is this an old video?
So these are the ATP
No,
switches
these electric trains. This is how they look like.
on and
These are how they look like the modern trains that we speak of.
Yes, modern diesel electric trains. This is how they look like.
Okay.
off
I'm sure.
switch.
I know you're thinking of
This
the
one
bullet
is the select.
trains that are
Yeah, it
shaped funny,
looks.
but this is how generally diesel electric locomotives look like. Even the modern ones.
Ah,
This is
okay.
GE, General Electric.
Oh wow. Okay.
To switch for which mode it's going to be in when it's on. So we have passive, that's the old system where the driver drives the train. We have driver assist, which has the driver driving the train, but there's a screen on the there's a display on the screen there showing him what to do and when to do it, like take a throttle notch now, put some brake on now. That was the forerunner to auto haul. That's when it was in the testing phase. Then we have attended, right? That's where the train is driving itself, but there is a driver on board. Again, that was a later part of the testing phase. And then we have driverless, so which is what the name implies, nobody on board at all. So we'll throw this switch over to driverless. Now we'll lock the cab up and get
You
out.
can pull it to 3 minutes and 46 seconds to show that it's alighting and set the train to move on its own. Yeah, that's where it's. They're lighting it. That switch there is what he presses to release it now
Okay.
on its own.
It's very windy.
It's very windy. That's it.
Cape Tower, ML25.
ML25, Cape Tower.
PFM for 8110, thanks.
Roger, sending through a PFM for 8110.
Carrying on its own now.
Mm,
There's nobody in the cab now.
mm. I've just turned off the sound, but let's see. When was this shot? Excuse me. Has it started?
Push it to 614.
Excuse me. Okay.
Push it to 614. Yeah, it's moving.
Rio Tinto
No.
is what? It's a mining company. Is it out of Australia?
Yeah, it's an Australian mining company. Now it's running on its own. Your sound is off. Okay, yeah.
It's programmed to go up to what?
Up to the destination.
Okay.
Yeah. It is programmed to go up to its full destination.
With no one
You
running.
set it up. Huh?
No one is in that thing.
No one is in that thing. Covering over 1,400 kilometers.
What?
Yeah.
It's like Nairobi, Mombasa, close to Nairobi, Mombasa.
That is beyond. Mombasa, Nairobi is 485.
It's 485. I thought it's about
Yeah.
600 kilometers. I don't know why I thought.
So, yeah, so you can imagine all those locomotive drivers. That one can fire then all locomotive operators in Kenya.
The whole chain.
Because the only drivers they use are the ones operating the train in the yard.
Yeah.
And in Kenya, the shunting drivers are there. We normally have the shunting drivers and the long haul. The shunter will remain, the long haul will be gone. That tells you that as long as your task is repetitive with minimum variety,
Yes.
the variety may be there, but it has a very high extent of predictability. The machines will take over. So this is the best time to be human.
Man, we are living in some exciting times, eh?
Yeah, this is the very best, because now that the machines have taken over, it's now you to be creative, to be the solver, because machines can solve. They can only take orders. They can only develop trends, and trends come out of predictability. Because we now have AI that is drawing paintings. Yeah. So even artists are in danger. Can you imagine that? Even people are talking of planes, passenger planes. They had made some intimations about passenger planes that can fly. You normally have two pilots on a long haul. Can have one pilot being assisted by AI. So people are really pushing the boundaries, and that financial bottom line is what everyone is trying. Everyone is looking at us as an employee. We really need to cut down this payroll. That is the driving force. This payroll has to go down. Somebody looks at you, sees you as a number. This number has to go down. So if you are stuck, if you are in a repetitive task, you really need to do something. You really need to change your mindset. You really need to look at the repeatability of your. If the repeatability it has become boring,
Mm,
I don't think you should inform your superior that the job is boring.
mm.
Then somebody is going to look for a machine that can predict that work and do it very quickly. We even have
And even much more efficient, and
much more
never
efficient.
it never gets tired.
It never
You
gets
can
tired.
you can even have it run overnight.
Yeah, like there's this company in Germany is running some huge boats along a river, but rather than have pilots, multiple pilots in each boat, you have only like one or two people. He has what you call remote access and cameras to like 9 boats. One person. So can you imagine what's going to happen? In
Mm,
fact, there's going to be a very serious employment issue in the developed world very soon. All
mm,
these now like that Rio Tinto company, all
mm,
those drivers who should have been running those vehicles, where are they now?
mhm,
The days of you being an expert in doing a particular task is going. First
mm.
to go are the aircraft, the flight engineers. I showed you that computer that replaced them. And you never know. One day we may have AI, air traffic controllers.
Mm,
You never get tired because there are cases of where air traffic controller has some emotional issues or is overwhelmed by the number of aircraft in the sky.
mhm,
You can have an because that issue of an AI air traffic controller, that concept exists a very long has existed for a very long. There's something called IGIS.
mhm,
IGIS is a weapon system on American warships. What
mhm,
it does, it links to the radar and looks at the various enemy vessels in the surround, whether is an air vessel, is an aircraft or a surface component. He looks at those crafts, compares with the weapon system, and makes a decision what to fire at who.
Okay.
It's called the IGIS.
IGIS. Okay.
AI, AEGIS, AEGIS, AEGIS. So it just looks at the various components, the number of enemies surrounding you, compares with the weapon system, and decide fire this at who. As compared to a human being who would probably panic when you see. And they say that on a fully armed American destroyer or cruiser, Aegis
Mm.
can handle 100 enemies at a go.
Firing.
You
Pa, pa,
decide
pa.
this one is more of a threat than this one. Shoot that one.
Mm.
Take this, and it will decide which weapon to fire at who. A human
Mm.
being, no matter how well you are trained, you are a human. The explosions will just hey, this is too much.
They'll have already killed you. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
or you get overwhelmed by the data flow will be too
Mm.
much.
Mm.
So this and Aegis has existed for it's been improving slowly, but
Mm.
Aegis existed since overnight. By 1990, Aegis was there. So you can imagine as much the way AI is coming up,
Mhm.
some jobs are going to disappear. We may have even some sort of an interactive ATM machine where you
Mm.
can even borrow a loan from. You
Oh
remember
yes, that is
in
possible
2000,
because you know now.
in
Mhm,
2000 and by 2008, we
mhm.
had ATMs that could accept money, correct?
As in deposits or what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're there.
in fact, I used to make deposits via ATM,
There you
whereby
check.
you punch in the amount of money you want to put in.
Mm.
It gives you an envelope. You put the money in,
Oh yes.
sends in,
Yeah.
then it will take some time but you'll get a notification later that the money has been deposited.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that was
I
I
used-
think in 2008. I think I
Yeah,
used to
yeah,
do
yeah.
that 2008 2009. It pops out an envelope. You strip it open, put in your money, send it in,
Mm.
runs it. Then after a couple of hours, it will, because somebody has to count the money, I think, or something. No, it will be
Actually,
counted.
it would count it, and sometimes you
Mm,
don't have to put it in an envelope. You just have to put a stack of it. Then it,
mm,
it counts as it gets in. So some of it will probably spit out because of how the note is. But if you
mm.
put it in, then it will pick up and then count
For
it.
National Bank, it used to be you put in a sealed. I think it is a sealed envelope. Then
Hmm.
somebody will count it manually later to ascertain,
Okay.
because the confirmation will come after 2 days or a day or
Mm.
something. For National
I
Bank,
mean, that's a very
so
good way
that
than
was,
having to queue up.
yeah, that is in 2008.
Mm.
So as human beings, especially as men, it's time to look at yourself and say, am I replaceable? How replaceable am I?
Yeah,
One moment like
it's,
this,
it's
and
it's
you're
it's
at
really
home.
right. It's really right
Mm,
in that curve, such that you're not gotten in your back foot. So
yeah.
how do you go ahead of that curve, such that when now AI gets
Mm, mm,
mainstream and it's slowly doing that, then
mm.
you get
Like
close to.
what I was trying to push my brother to do about that AI call center.
Mm,
That thing picks up those hordes of people, and they were complaining, oh, the pay is low. My friends, you are complaining about pay is low, and someone is thinking of a way of getting rid of you.
hmm.
You are saying the pay is low, need to improve our conditions, and somebody somewhere is crunching their numbers, thinking of how to get rid of you.
Exactly.
So it's I think we have now gone back to survival of the fittest, but in terms of mental capacity.
Hmm.
Before it was survival of the fittest on a physical way. Now it's survival of the fittest who can outthink the other. That is the issue coming up now.
Mm, exactly. I mean, we are no longer in the battlefield where we are wielding our
Oh,
brawn, that is our
mm,
physical
mm,
power. It's all mental
mm,
now.
mm,
So
mm.
and I mean, when you think about it, the people who create and manage AI systems are up there in the value chain.
Yeah.
But the people that consume are easily replaceable. Them, they can be the AI can replace them. But if you're
In
the one who's
seconds.
sort of the originator of that and control
Mm,
that,
mm,
then you're on the top of the food chain. So it's a I've heard of this new thing called prompt engineering.
mm.
I don't know if you've heard of it. It's just learning how to effectively now utilize these AI models for your work. How best to question them, how to frame your questions, how to um, leverage them in your work. Be it that now, if you're a coder, of course, now with these AI models, it will be able to automate almost three quarters of
In
the
fact,
work.
right now,
Mm,
uh, this is something I thought of, and that I can even say it right now. Use of AI.
mm,
Now that we have so much taxation in this country, you
mm,
can feed in the tax system into an AI and tell it, give me the loopholes in this system.
exactly.
Give me the loopholes in this. It will find something. It
No,
will
it will.
definitely, because that's what we need. Check the
Mhm,
taxation. You are in Kenya, feed in the taxation system. AI, give me loopholes that can enable me to save this amount of money when my income is this and this. Let's go.
mhm. And
I'm
boom.
telling you, within 1 hour, so many possibilities will be available. This is what companies
Exactly.
should be looking at. This is what these major corporations who are always having problem tax, but this is what they should be taxing their AI teams. Give
Mm,
us a way out of this uh, taxation regime. Feed in the system. Tell me the first quarter, what percentage are we saving? Simple as that. Fleet
mm,
operators, vehicle conditions. How can we make our vehicles run longer and
mm.
spend less fuel? How can we optimize our driving standards? AI will take care of that. And if we slack off, we'll be making so many losses. Like I
mm,
remember there's a local airline. They used to have a software for analyzing fuel consumption. So the software was working well. It will give you an overall figure. This is the figure that you need to maintain for you to make a profitable, to have a profitable enterprise.
mm,
Then one day, somebody brought another system that was now more analytical on a plane by plane.
mm,
Some of the planes were consuming more fuel, but the
mm.
other ones that are performing well were actually shielding them on the average.
Wow.
So, so this thing, I don't know. From the African perspective, I don't know how, and these are things that people in government should be discussing. I'm very sure if you feed in data on the Kenyan economy, AI, give me a way
Mm.
of turning around this economy, you'll get something.
Oh man, that doesn't even need the AI. Um, we've spoken of so many of those ideas. I'm even feeling tired to regurgitate most of them. I mean, the
Mm,
solutions are there, and we know the solutions.
mm.
What we are not privy of is what the people who are running that ship probably are privy of, or probably are managed certain in certain expectations
Or
from the.
maybe we should ask for minutes of these meetings. If they can share the minutes, we can see what they discuss. Because there was a
And
time someone leaked a meeting in some county.
mm,
It was an audio of the
mm,
meeting. Man, it was horrible.
mm.
It was some country I didn't know, but it was fantastically horrible.
What do you
Because
mean?
these guys were saying,
Hmm.
look, we can have this meeting locally, but let's have this meeting in another location. Then we'll
Mm,
have an opportunity to inflate the allowance figures. Now, there was somebody in the meeting who said, no, look, but you see, whatever you are discussing can be discussed in the boardroom. And he
mm,
was shut down very quickly.
mm,
And the language, the kind of response, if it was physical, it could have been beaten up. They told him, shut the fuck up. This is the first and last thing you're going to say in this meeting. In the meantime, let's look for a venue that is as far as possible as our offices, as far as possible from here, so that when we tinker with the figures, it doesn't look very abnormal.
mhm,
So the further the venue, the more the avenue for tinkering with the figures. Can you imagine?
mhm.
This was a leaked meeting at county level. Now imagine what happens at national level.
They're all angling, "Oh, okay, hiyo tenders nipatie napo nataka kukula kitu. Wewe unakula wapi? Mimi nataka
Mm,
kula kwa hii." Sawa.
mm.
Nini nini. So just imagine they're all looking at it like angry lions on what piece of what each of them will take.
That is why
Sometimes projects never even take off because they're all looking to maximize on that. So you're wondering how much does the person who is doing the work require to do the job in terms of some of the resources you'll have to purchase, and then how much will he make?
it
They tell
reminds
him
me of,
quadruple.
a time when someone went to provide a quote for a generator in an organization which, for my own security purpose, I'm not going to mention.
Mm-hmm,
Um, he came with a quotation. He said, "This is a very reasonable quotation. It's been tailor made. Since you guys are in government, you are running on taxpayers' money. You want this thing to be as fair as possible." Those guys looked at him. Gambia, listen, you are not making any presentation today. We have talked to your boss.
mm-hmm.
They gave him a quotation. This is the price you are buying your machine for. And it was around 3 times what he has brought.
Hey, hey, hey. Uh-huh.
Mhm. And if you try to be smart, you are going to you'll be on your way to Nairobi, going to take a dismissal letter.
Mm. Hey,
Mm.
some of those things are quite because it even goes beyond you. There are
Yeah, it goes beyond.
cartels,
They
and
told
those
him,
vendors are angling at getting that, so you could even lose your life.
yes, yes. But people have actually died.
Mm,
Some people, there was a colleague of my late dad who got a job offer of another, like some major car dealer, these brand new car dealers. They used to sell vehicles to the government. And he
hmm
refused. That was in below around 2001, 2 or 3. He refused. He said, I know that company. That
hmm
company, when you try to do things in a straight manner, you end up in a grave. If private organization like Nakumat, some in the heydays of Nakumat, someone got shot because he was interrogating some financial activities, he was
mm.
given a first warning. Kwamba, "Iyo, that system you are interrogating has existed for quite a while." He kept pushing and he was shot. I think he was shot at Tomboya Street.
Sheesh.
Eh? Tomboya
It's high
Street
stakes.
at it was around 7. And at 7 Tomboya Street, the traffic is moving, but it's quite slow.
Mm,
Someone took him out. And this is not this is just a chain of supermarkets.
mm.
No big deal, no major government thing. It's just a group of people who said this guy has to go. This guy was
'Cause
only,
they're looking at that value of money. So if this is the guy who is between us and that money, take him out.
and the guy was only 27. He had been at Nakumat for
Yeah, I
about a year.
remember that case. I remember that
Uh,
case. Yeah.
We had a navy blue Mac X. They took him out 7 p.m. Tomboya Street.
Man, if it is happening even in private sector, man. In
Yes,
government, I would say, man, just leave that shit.
yes.
You go,
Or
you
any
go.
organization whereby somebody is intimating that we can do A, B, C, D, resign,
Yeah.
resign. Just walk away. You can, as I normally say, let us avoid this activist type of mentality.
Mm,
You may be trying to. It's like you have found a python stuck. Why are you
mm.
rescuing a python? Call KWS to deal with it.
Yep.
Or you find a lion stuck somewhere, you're trying to help a lion. Are you mad? Eh? Some things, some systems are meant to work on their own.
Mm,
Some systems should not be tampered with. Do not. You just be true to yourself. You may miss out on some millions, you may miss out on some billions, but number one, your conscience will be clear. Number two, you'll remain alive.
that's not your deal, bro.
It's
Yeah.
not really leave it, leave it. This thing you are doing, as we normally say in the space, is self-improvement. You're
Mm,
not running a party, you're not running a movement for changing people's mindsets. No, you are improving yourself. And if it means you moving, steering clear of some situations, even a rally car will avoid potholes sometimes. You'll say, hey,
mm,
rally, hey, what's an an account? Even this is a rally,
mm.
if this is a rally car, there are some things I can't run over. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there are situations you have to listen, say, "Man, whatever I'm doing, I have to be alive to do it." You are not going to matter. It's got martyrdom or martyrdom.
Mm,
You're not fighting for independence here. No. I have no business being a martyr. I just want to improve myself so that 10 years from now, you meet me, you have a conversation, this guy has improved a lot. That's good for me.
mm.
But this other business of, I don't know, it's either my way or the highway. No, no, no. That's why even some organizations, you rather not even work for them at all.
Mm,
Some organizations are pure hellholes. Like my dad used to say, the parastatal used to work for. They used to say the higher you go, the hotter it becomes.
Yeah, they have changed it from the cooler it becomes. So
You
man,
now you are somewhere and you get phone calls from very weird
ish,
places where even your boss cannot save you.
sign hiyo kitu. Unaambiwa
Your
sign hiyo
boss tells
kitu.
you hiyo mimi siwezi kukuokoa. Either you sign or you can resign, mtu mwingine achukue.
Mm.
So that's the reality. As much as we aim for self-improvement, you cannot self-improve when you are dead.
No, you cannot.
Yeah. And
So yes.
even as a matter will just mention your name once a year, like Tom Boya, Dedan Kimati, but they are gone. They are
Yeah.
not here, but you are here. You can live longer. I'm not saying that you be a coward, but there are things you can steer clear of. You say, hey, that's not my war.
Yep.
I'm not going to engage in this. So, as we push hard in self improvement, also be smart enough to understand there are some battles are not for you.
Mm.
Mm. There are some battles which will cut you short, will cut you off from achieving your potential.
Exactly.
Some battles, they are not. Some are not even battles.
Mm.
Some are just storms which are raging somewhere. Why do you put yourself in a storm? Why are you fighting a storm? Or is a battle between two lions? Why are you going to separate two lions from fighting, or unless you want to turn into dinner?
Mm.
So as we push hard on the agenda of self-improvement, let us be cautious. Let's understand that they are parts of the matrix we cannot fight.
Mm.
You're not even fighting them, you are avoiding it. To be realistic, you're simply placing yourself between some cracks and say, I can fit myself here and still be true to myself.
Yep.
Just to be realistic.
That's
So
true.
it's been 1 hour of rambling
Another
like two mad people.
8 minutes.
Hmm.
But it's been a good discussion. It's been a good
Very nice.
discussion. I think we've touched a few things.
I see you are
Um,
back. You are back to reality. That heaven that you were last week has been taken away.
yeah,
But then
it's
again,
it's such a good one. It's a good studio and everything, but definitely they need to upgrade on the internet, because the reason why I didn't want to risk it again is to have those. It was like the previous one that I did in that hotel where we couldn't also sustain a good conversation, kept breaking. I think also on your side at the time, you also had a few challenges.
yes,
Then this one was, I think the image was sharper, but then it compromised on the quality of the conversation. So I didn't want that to continue. So I said, let me just do it at home. I'd rather do it at home or do it at the office. Those
then
two
again,
locations have good internet.
then
Good
again,
internet.
it's like telling us, you may not have a very clear picture of where you need to be,
Yeah.
but it tells you now this is where you should be going. It sort of jolts you out of your comfort zone. I may be comfortable here with this what I'm using as a source
Is
of
your light?
light. eh,
Okay.
but that sort of jolts me and say, hey, as long as you are doing something decent, 3, 4 years from now, you should not be here.
No, that's true. I think
It's
we
like you
should
are being
slowly
you are being
build
snapped
up
back. Hey,
that
yes,
studio. Like even
build it up.
there's a little gadget I just ask a friend. There's a friend who has gone back, who has gone to Nairobi this weekend. He'll be back mid next week. So because I want to be hosting Twitter Spaces where I play music from my phone, I need to buy this little gadget. It's called an iRig. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
Not yet, not yet.
Let me show you. It's just a simple device, and I got it for 1,000. I couldn't get it locally here. I mean, I'm beginning. You appreciate Nairobi for what it is. Nairobi is a solid market. Almost anything you want, you get it there. So this little device. So I'll connect this jack
Uh-huh.
will go to my phone,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll put another jack from this to
Ah,
my computer,
ah,
and then this one is just to the headphones.
okay.
Um, so the idea will be, um, I want to be able to play music from my laptop, but pipe it so that it is outputted on a Twitter Space.
So this
You
one
know,
is
Twitter.
connected to the earphone piece of the mobile phone, yeah?
Yes, this cable, yes, to the earphone piece. If you don't have the earphone piece, you can get the converter, and then it will get the one that goes into an iPhone. But then this is to the headphones, and then this one will go into the machine. So I've been
You
wishing to
can
do that.
play something from the computer now, correct?
Yes, and then it is outputted on the Twitter Spaces.
As
So
the
the
host
minute
only.
as a host, so you can't do that natively on Twitter Spaces. You can't, like, if you have Twitter Spaces running on your phone and
Mm.
you open another app like YouTube,
Mm.
that sound it produces on YouTube is not being produced to the Twitter Spaces. It's just how they need to really improve on the app. Um, so that means you need such kind of a device, and I bought it for just 1,000 bob. I
Wow,
couldn't find
wow.
it locally here.
Mm.
And because there's another friend who lives in South Africa. It's actually somebody that I met on Twitter Spaces. He runs a jazz show every
Mm.
Sunday, actually, some of the Sundays, because sometimes they have load shedding there. I'm hoping tomorrow they'll actually run it. And it's such a great thing, He just opens this space to jazz lovers. People tune in, they sign up, and then he asks them, this show is just open to your request. Send in your request. So you send a request. He opens his Spotify app, and sources all his music from either Spotify or YouTube. Play it. He encourages you to get the mic. You speak a little bit about the choice of your request, and boom, that thing runs for about 5 hours, but it's a beautiful space. I mean, this just shows how Twitter is
You don't
revolutionizing
you
the
don't
media
need
space.
like some sort of a major studio and whatnot.
No, no, only this. And I'm always amazed. It's sort of the simplest of tools that have a very transformative impact. The simplest of, I mean, just imagine the little wiring here and whatever they have programmed into that little firmware of this Kaleido device. But it has a very transformative. It's just, I mean, think of what M-Pesa was. M-Pesa was basically running on the SMS technology,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
saying, I gave this agent money. This agent sends me a report saying, yes, I've received your money. I will deposit it into your account, or I will send it and you get a notification, both ends. You as a sender and the receiver. It's all SMS. But just imagine the transformative effect of it. It's the
How many
simplest of technologies sometimes that have
how
the
many
highest.
how many tellers have been taken out by that?
Man.
Again, repetitive actions put you in danger. As long as it's repetitive and any aspect of variety can be easily predicted,
Mhm.
you're in trouble.
Yep.
So it's been 1 hour 14 minutes of continuous rambling.
Yes.
It's
So
good to be men.
I think we will, because now I'm looking into this equipment of a studio quite keenly.
Mm,
And I've seen also important things here. There are those online sites that can bring it to you very well. I
mm,
think I'll take advantage of those. Before I would probably get either a relative or a friend coming from the US. But those are irregular. You can't determine those cycles. But there are people that are online that tell you, oh, we can guarantee you within a month or a few weeks. If you purchase through us, we'll go buy it and get it for you. So there's that little mixer that I showed you for
Yeah,
about
yeah.
$100. I think it is about 170,000 Rwanda francs. So it comes to about 100. It's like 10,000 bob or 15,000 bob. So very cost effective. But just imagine what it would do. So get that. They now get good cameras. Get a good speaker. Before you know it, you have a fully fledged. And it's just slowly by slowly you acquire one thing over the other. Oh, let me save up this month. 20 G's. That 20 G's, this guy was wasting, could have gotten him halfway to get in a
Yeah.
fully fledged studio. Already, actually, with that mixer, you've got two very good mics. So your sound quality improves. You're now able to put in some bit of razzmatazz by incorporating jingles and the way Kiba's got his whips, whatever it might be. So just spicing up your podcast or your program, whatever you may want to call it, your episode. So that little 20K, man, even me now, I need to review my money usage and see how best I improve.
Yeah, Wakina Chantel will have to take a break.
Oh my goodness. Hizo leakages zote zinapotea kwao, most of them. And then
Wakina
maybe
Chantel, because
cut down
it
a
looks
little
like
bit.
small money. It looks like small money. But when you do an audit, the time I audited, I went through my M-Pesa of around 2018, 2017. I nearly started screaming, man.
Man, even me, even these days, I don't look at it. I mean, how much money passes through your hands on M-Pesa? And sometimes it's like you are a conduit.
And some names
You're
you don't
receiving
know.
and you're just
Some
passing it
names
away.
and some names are just who is Mary, who is Angela, who is Valerie, who the fuck are these? Janet, who's Janet? Who?
And I now can
Janet?
see that 20K where it is getting lost because sometimes you
Yeah.
go on a restaurant, aka 2 G's here, aka 5 G's here. That's 7 G's. You're almost halfway of that 20K. So if we were more personally, if I need to become also more disciplined with my finance, I'm sure I need to start really operating on a budget. That's the other discipline. Discipline ya deki, discipline ya pesa, na discipline ya all these ni just frivolous stuff.
What I started doing, because I was actually able to save 30K, because I said I'm only buying something that is useful and it has high longevity. Like my flash drive just kaput. That I need to replace right away and even buy a spare one and keep it there. What is going on? Apart from that, apart from the consumables, Zanyumba, food and stuff like insecticides and whatnot, but the rest is nonsense. Like I normally like warm white backgrounds, or warm white theme for nyumba. So in a hurry, I bought a clock that had a bluish border,
Background.
bluish border. So it was sort of clashing.
Mm.
So the other day I'm passing by the supermarket, I'm seeing another clock that has a warm white setup. I said, this looks nice. Then I said, no, apana. So you have a clock. Bas, wachana nayo.
Exactly.
Watch, and I walk away. See, the clock that you have, as much as it is clashing, it's a small thing. Simbaya. It's okay. This
Hizo zingine
1,000
ni
and I said, good decision. You don't need it. 5 years ago, I'd say, no, peana mwili asante, buy this thing. No. Then you are saying, I blessed another 1,000 shillings on a clock that I have. I have a clock already. It's working. I know the time. Just because I like interior design, why should I blow away that 1K that I can keep and something can come up and I can top up into my savings? So I normally look at thing. Is it functional value or is it what do I call it? Is it what is maridadi? Cosmetic. Is it
Decoration,
cosmetic?
cosmetic stuff.
Is it cosmetic? Yeah. Okay. I have no problem with people smelling good. So I was looking at perfumes, but I do shower and I don't smell. So why should I blow 3K on a perfume? Wait, what a guy. And for a guy who loves perfume, I really had to say, Brayo, yo, lenga tu bana, lenga. We are building kingdom. The keyword is kingdom, bana, kingdom. And one day I put it on a tweet. When when you're putting perfume, who are you putting it for? Who are you putting perfumes for? Tuambie ni ukweli tu jamaa. Who are you putting perfumes for? Not your fellow men. Hey, no. You just shower, scrub yourself, you'll be okay. But as I said, for those on the climbing lane, those who wants to build kingdoms, because I cannot impose some things on people. But if you're on the climbing lane, you have to really whip yourself. Do I need this? What is it for? Like I was listening to somebody who was talking about debt management. This guy was managing, he was now trying to manage his debt. He discovered he was ordering per month 6,000 on takeout. 6K on takeout per month. You know, it looks small, 1,500, 500, 1,000, 900, 650, 400. End of the month, you told 6,500, 5,800, 5K 800 on a supermarket. That's very nice budget for food. Which I can cook. I can make sandwiches of my own, of bread and sausage, or those long stuff with sausages inside. So I think it's self-whipping and really clobbering yourself into this. That's my take on it. And I think we need to close it before we end up at 10 o'clock.
We find ourselves another 2 hours down the line. Cool, man.
Yeah. So thank you very much and all the best.
Cool. Have a good one.